Hello everybody, welcome back to NIOS Made Easy. Today let's do letter writing. So what's a letter? A letter is just a message that is exchanged between two people. Today we have applications on our mobiles and computers using which we exchange messages. However, every person should still need to know how to write a clear and a readable letter. We have two types of letters, formal letters and informal letters. Formal letters are also called business letters, while informal letters are also referred to as friendly letters. What's a formal letter? A formal letter or a business letter is usually formal in nature. The language used is formal. Formal letters have to be clear and to the point, and usually a formal letter is written with a purpose. On the other hand, informal letters or friendly letters are letters written to relatives and friends. The letter is more relaxed with the nature of a friendly chat. The language used here is informal, and when you read through the letter, it is more conversational in nature. These are the types of formal letters. Letters written to the editor of a newspaper or a magazine, letters to government offices, leave application letters, letters written to the police department, letters written to the principal and teachers in school, order letters where we place order for products, complaint letters, inquiry letters, job application letters, letters to the bank, invitation letters, resignation letters, etc. Usually formal letters are written to the editors of newspapers and magazines. They are written to government offices, to the police department, to the principal and teachers in school, electricity board, municipal corporation, water board, revenue department, etc. Whereas informal letters are written to friends and relatives, parents, cousins, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, neighbors, etc. Whatever kinds of letters we write, whether it is a formal letter or an informal letter, a letter should have the below components. The sender's name and sender's address. This is optional for an informal letter. Date, salutation. It can be dear sir, dear madam, respected sir, etc. Then we have the body of the letter, that is the actual message or the communication. Then we have leave taking, which can be thanking you, yours faithfully, yours sincerely. And then we have the signature, where you write your name and sign. Whether it is a formal letter or an informal letter, these are the components that has to be in your letter. Now let us look at the template of a formal letter. A template is like a blueprint where you follow the spacing, the indentations, and where to write what components. In the formal letter, you start with the sender's address. The sender is the person who is writing this letter. So this will have the sender's name and the sender's address. Then we have the date. Then we have the receiver's address. Receiver is the person who is receiving this letter. He is the person to whom you are writing this letter. So the receiver's address and the receiver's name and the receiver's address. Then we have the salutation. It can be respected sir or respected madam, dear sir. It can be anything here. Then we have the subject line. The subject line is a very short line on what you will be writing inside this letter. Then you have the actual communication, that is the body of the letter. And then finally we have the leave taking, like thanking you, yours faithfully, yours truly, yours sincerely, etc. Following this, you will write your name and sign. Let's see the informal letter now. In the informal letter, you have the sender's name and the sender's address, that is the person who is writing this letter. This is an optional field in an informal letter. It can be there or it need not be there. Then we have the date. Then we have a salutation. It can be dear Amit or dear father, etc. Then we have the body of the letter. And then finally, the sender's name and signature. The main difference between a formal letter and an informal letter is that in an informal letter, you do not have the receiver's address and you do not have the subject line here. These are the two main differences. While writing an informal letter, it is okay to write the sender's name and address. However, it is not mandatory. In both these letters, one has to pay attention to the spacing and the indents. So there is a box here that is shown for reference purposes. So when you write the address or when you write the name, the content you are writing should be well within this area. So we'll have to pay attention to the spacing. If you notice, all the elements in this letter are along a straight line. However, it is only the subject line that is intended inwards. Now let us look at the body of the letter. The body of the letter is the actual communication or the actual message. When you write the body of the letter, use simple language which has short sentences. We'll have to stick to the point. Before you write a letter, try to put down the points that you want to include in the letter in a logical order. Once you have your points ready, keep them direct and clear. For the purpose of easy readability, we can divide the body of the letter into 3 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, the sender is introducing himself or herself. Along with that, he is also introducing the purpose of this letter. In the second paragraph, you will describe more about the topic that you mentioned in paragraph 1. You are actually writing the message, that is the purpose for which you are writing this letter. Finally, in paragraph 3, you are trying to conclude this letter as well as the topic. You can conclude the letter by writing what you are expecting. For example, if you have discussed some problem in paragraphs 1 and 2, you can expect a solution to that problem and you can try to suggest a solution that you are expecting. With this, you can conclude the body of the letter. So this is the format of a formal as well as an informal letter and what goes into each of these elements. Now let us look at some questions that have appeared in the previous year board papers. I'll read a couple of them. You live in Shakarpur in Delhi. The colony is not clean. Garbage is seen lying here and there. Write a letter to the president of the Residents' Welfare Association of your colony, complaining about lack of cleanliness in your colony and making a few suggestions for its cleanliness. Your Ravina. Your letter should cover the following points: overflowing garbage dumps, dirty streets, market and drains, steps RWA and residents should take, refer to Swachh Bharat. This is a complaint letter. The keyword is here, which says that Ravina is complaining about the lack of cleanliness in the colony. That's already given to you. So a complaint letter is a formal letter. It is written to the president of the Residents' Welfare Association. There is a clue given as to the place, that is Shakarpur in Delhi. They've just given you the name of the place and the name of the city, that is Delhi. So you'll have to create a fictitious address for both Ravina's address as well as of the Residents' Welfare Association. Some points that you could include in your letter are given here. You can use these points and frame your letter. That is the main communication, that is the body of the letter can include all these points. Another one, write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper giving your views about increasing health problems school children are facing, such as obesity, diabetes, asthma and other lifestyle related diseases. Suggest what schools and health department of your town can do to make the children realize that they need to have a healthy lifestyle and prevent them from having health problems and suffering from these diseases. This is a letter to an editor, so this is a formal letter. In this letter, if you can see, they have not given the name of the person or the sender who is writing this letter. So you can assume a name and an address for yourself while writing this letter. Again, the letter should have some points and they have given you a list of points that you could include in your letter. Another question, you are Rajiv, preparing for the board examinations. You have joined a preparatory center for the examination. Write a letter to your father who is out of station about the benefit that you have from attending this center. Do not forget to inquire about your mother's health. You are writing a letter to your father, so this is clearly an informal letter. They have given the name of the sender here, that is Rajiv. Address is not given, or even the city name is not given here, so all these can be assumed. This is an informal letter and they have given you a broad topic, that is you are writing to your father about the benefit that you have from attending an examination center. So that's what you are writing in this letter. Some more letters here. Let's look at a sample letter. This letter has come in one of the previous year board papers. Write a letter to the municipal corporation of your area complaining of streetlight problems. You are Rani of Dharma Colony, Ramghar. This is a complaint letter. It's a formal letter. The sender's name is given, that is Rani. The name of the colony and the city is given, that is Dharma Colony and Ramghar. So the first field is the sender's address. So it's Rani. This line here is assumed. You can write a fictitious address. Then you have Dharma Colony and Ramghar. Then you have the date. You are writing to the municipal corporation of your area. So you can address the letter to the corporator, municipal corporation. The city will still be Ramghar. The salutation, dear sir or madam. The subject is streetlight problems in 15th Main Road, Dharma Colony. The subject line has again been taken from the question itself. Now coming to the body of the letter. I am Rani, staying in Dharma Colony for the last 6 years. So this is her introduction. This is to inform you that we are facing issues with 3 streetlight poles on 15th Main Road, Dharma Colony for the last 10 days. So this is the introduction to the problem or the topic. This all happens in the first paragraph. Now elaborating on this streetlight problem. Occasionally there are sparks coming from streetlight poles and the light switches off. This makes the street very dark and it looks dangerous. In the last 3 days, there have been cases on chain snatching too. So these are the problems that are happening because of the streetlight issues. This is the elaboration of the problem discussed in this first para. So now to conclude, request you to please look into this and ensure that streetlights are fixed. So she's asking for the streetlights to be fixed. That is the purpose of this letter. This issue is causing serious inconvenience to residents. Then the closing address, thanking you, yours sincerely, Rani, on behalf of the residents of Dharma Colony. The body of the letter can be around 100 words, which is a good content to write for a formal letter. Please note that all the fields are aligned along a straight line except for the subject line, which is indented inwards. Let us look at an example of an informal letter. You are Aditya Chopra staying with your friend Rajan Rai in Vivekanand College Hostel in Dehradun. Your friend Rajan was badly hurt while playing cricket and he had to be shifted to a nearby hospital for treatment. Write a letter to his father informing him about the incident. Mention his present status and assure that there is nothing to worry about him. So this is clearly an informal letter. We said that the sender's name and sender's address is optional, but since they have given you this in the question telling that you are Aditya Chopra and you are staying in Vivekanand College Hostel in Dehradun, it is advisable that you write the sender's name and address. So Aditya Chopra, 13th Main 6th Cross Road, Vivekanand College, Dehradun. This is a fictional address created using whatever is given to you from the question itself. Then we have the date. Then we can start the letter. Dear uncle, how are you? How is auntie? This is to let you know that Rajan got hurt today while playing cricket. He has hurt his feet. There is swelling in his left ankle. He is still in pain. Elaborating further on this, initially we thought that it was a fracture, but thankfully it is not that. He has twisted his ankle. It is a ligament tear. Doctors say that he'll be fine and would be able to walk with support within a week. Today he'll be at the hospital for observation. So the message that had to be communicated is done. So now we are just concluding this letter. Uncle, there is nothing to worry about and he's doing okay. Just thought of keeping you informed. We friends will take care of him. So that's the conclusion. And finally we have bye for now and signed by Aditya. So this is an informal letter. Here the language is more conversational, as if he was talking to the other person over phone or face to face. However, please note that all the fields here are aligned along a straight line, and that is what we need in these letters. One point that you can keep in mind is, irrespective of the content of the letter, that is the body of the letter, please ensure that you adhere to the format and include all the fields, all the components of the letter that are mandatory. This will make your letter look more professional and more readable and clear. Hope this short video on letter writing was useful to you. Thank you so much for watching.